Hey everyone, it's Jeannie. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm sharing 8 different projects using the Trinity Stamps Rainbow Hugs add-on die. I'll be making 5 different cards and decorating 3 mini coffee cups. This Rainbow Hugs add-on is an add-on to the mini coffee cup sleeve and decor. These 2 sets are intended to go with the mini coffee cup craft kit that Trinity Stamps has in their shop, but I wanted to show you how I use the add-on for other projects as well. The die in the Rainbow Hugs add-on cuts out 7 different strips, so I pulled out 7 different pastel colored cardstock pieces and I went ahead and die cut the paper using the rainbow die. Since the projects today are very die cut heavy, I die cut everything out first and then worked on putting my projects together, and I think that that's the fastest way to create a die cut heavy project. For the rainbow, the order of the strips do matter. Each strip is in a position of the rainbow and you want to keep track of that. I tape it down with washi after die cutting to keep them in place, and then I'll go ahead and separate them into piles based on position. So I have positions 1 through 7 and I'll place them in their correct piles. I also have a post-it to help me remember and not mix them up because, spoken from experience, I mix them up and they're very hard to tell apart. So I'm using the template from the original mini coffee cup sleeve and decor die set, but you don't need this to create the rainbows. You can use a piece of scratch paper, glue the rainbow strips on it, and then trim it down. But since I have them, I'm going to go ahead and use it to help form my rainbows. I work in position order by placing strip number 1 on each of the 7 templates, and then I'll continue to strip number 2, strip number 3, and so forth. I also keep the order of the colors the same too, so I don't end up repeating colors. And once I finish that, I'll have 7 rainbows to work with for 7 different projects if I so choose. For this video, I actually ended up using 6 of the 7 rainbows. I just had 1 left over, but I'll put on a project later. These are fairly easy to put together once you have everything die cut, so you could watch TV, glue them together, and have a bunch of rainbows to work with. Additional sets that I'm using for my project are the Scripty Things die, Stitch Strips die, the Magical Sentiments stamp and die, and then the mini coffee cup sleeve and decor. For my first card, I cut one of the rainbows in half to place on the top left and bottom right hand side of the card. I thought that it would frame the unicorn very well. The Rainbow Hugs add-on includes dies to cut out a unicorn's face, as well as clouds, a heart, and arms. But for this card, I'm just using the unicorn, and I went ahead and colored the unicorn ears and the clouds and decorated this card. I thought that the rainbow would frame the face very well. And for the sentiment, I used the die from the Magical Sentiment stamp set, and I stamped the UR sentiment directly onto the card panel. And I thought that this went really well with the unicorn. So I popped it up on foam tape and adhered it to a piece of gold cardstock that matched the horn, and this card is complete. My second card is really simple as well. I used a piece of gray cardstock and matted it on red cardstock. I cut out the words "Thank you" from the Scripty Things die in white and red. I keep these dies together so I can easily do a die inlay of the words in the shadow, and I used the rainbow to lay in the middle of the card. I wanted the arms in the Rainbow Hugs add-on to hold the heart, so I will be coloring and trimming that in half. But for the words, I think that it's easier just to keep the dies together, because instead of gluing them down, you know that these will fit perfectly. It does take a little bit more work, but I have that preference of just keeping them together. So for these arms, they are so cute, and I think that it works really well to hug the heart, and I really like how that turns out. So these arms are meant to hug around the coffee cup, but I think they work perfectly on cards as well. To add a bit of interest, because the card looked a little plain, I die cut some thin strips from the Stitch Strip die and added them to the top and the bottom of the card, and I really think it finished it off. So that's it for card number 2. For card number 3, I did something very similar to card number 2, except I'm placing this card panel in landscape instead of portrait. I'm letting the rainbow die run across that card panel, and I'm using the thankful word from the Scripty Thanks die. This time for the arms, they're coming out from the bottom of the card instead of the sides, and I'm just going to mat it on pink cardstock, and that is it for card number 3. For card number 4, it's very similar to card number 1, except this is landscape instead of portrait. I'll be using the unicorn face once again, and I have the rainbow lying across the bottom of this card panel. For the unicorn, this time I'm using silver cardstock, and I lost the footage for it, but I also die cut the words thank you from the same silver cardstock, and I put it over the rainbow, and I think it's a very simple and cute card. So I really like how that turned out as well. So that's card number 4. Card number 5 is a bit different because I thought it'd be cute to be a gatefold card. I took a piece of 5.5 by 8.5 cardstock and scored it at 2 1/8 on each end, so that way it would meet in the middle and open like a door. I wanted to add a bit of subtle interest to the background, so I pulled out the slimline stripe stencil and used a darker gray color to add that subtle background. I thought that it wasn't too crazy and it didn't take away from the main card at all, but just added that extra touch that I thought helped. So I placed the rainbow in the middle of the card and held it down with some washi. I added glue on one half of the rainbow, and then I removed the washi and trimmed off the rainbow. I matched up the rainbow to the left-hand side and glued the rest of the rainbow on the right-hand side. And this way I ensure that I get a good cut for the rainbow, so when it opens up in the middle it doesn't look too wonky. For the heart, I am only adding glue on the left-hand side because you want to be able to open the card. However, without thinking, I had glued down the 2 arms to the heart, which I quickly realized was wrong because if I left it like this, you wouldn't be able to open the card at all. So I quickly removed the heart from the hand, and if I was to redo this card, I wouldn't put adhesive on the right hand, so I could tuck the heart into the hand and it would help keep the card closed. But since I already had adhesive on it, I just left the hand adhered to the heart. So I added a few clouds to add some additional decoration to the card, as well as along the gatefold, just to help add weight to keep the card closed. And any excess I trimmed off, and that is it for card number 5. I thought this was a really fun one. So moving on to the mini coffee cup decorations, I think that this is really simple. If you have die cuts, you can decorate it any way you want, but I just wanted to show you 3 simple ways of decorating. Using the unicorn die cuts, I just went ahead and cut them out of fun colored cardstock, and I'm just gluing down the pieces for the unicorn. These little coffee cups can be used as favor bags, treats. I think that I'm planning on using them for little gift add-ons to Christmas presents. I think that that'd be really cute. For the second mini coffee cup, I used the larger sleeve from the mini coffee cup sleeve decor die set, and I just do that for a bit of color. So I'm using the heart and I'm using the arms as it was originally intended to be used, wrapping around the coffee cup. And I think that the arms are super adorable for this coffee cup. I do use a piece of washi to hold it down while I adhere one side, just so I make sure that it lines up nicely. And once I have everything ready, I'll go ahead and adhere it completely to the coffee cup. But I think that these arms are perfect for this coffee cup set as well as cards. They just add that personal touch to it, I feel. For the third one, it's also very simple. I'm using that larger sleeve to wrap around the coffee cup, and then I'm just adding the rainbow. It's very simple. You guys can do so many cool things with it, but I was getting kind of tired from all the cards that I had created, so I just went with simple just to show you guys what you can do with it and its intended purpose. So those are the 3 coffee cups that I decorated. in total with 5 other cards. And so I hope you enjoyed all these different projects, and it gives you a couple ideas for using this die set for either cards or for the coffee cups. So I'll see you guys next time. Have a great day. Bye.